Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Snow,
Hi.
and I'm Chester, of course. So, we are going to go ahead and start today's podcast. And yes, I am recording this time. I double checked, I triple checked. It is recording. Um, like you guys have already known, we have been watching. Uh, so, I'm a Spider. So what? I think we actually left off on episode 16, making this starting to go from episode 17.
Yeah.
Um, we are actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be doing episode 17 straight on through the ending, which would be episode 24. The main reason for that is because there are some parts that seem a little bit kind of filler.
Hillary.
Yeah. So because of that, we're going to be doing we're going to be skipping parts here and there, not a whole lot of parts, but we're going to be skipping here and there just so
Yeah, like
that
we just don't need to go in depth to you guys. It's fun to watch, but we don't really need to talk about it.
yeah. So,
All right.
that being said, we're going to be starting on episode 17. Snow is going to be starting us off with that episode, and then we are going to fight about a lot of stuff. So, Snow, go ahead and take it away.
All right. So episode 17 starts name is sorry, is what am I doing? So it kind of going back, to be honest, I don't think there's too much of a recap that we can do since it's like we're already on episode 17, like a recap of like all the way from 1 to 16 because there's like a lot of information. Moral of the story, we have our nameless spider. Okay. She is 15 years ahead of the younger her classmates
Yeah,
just
the rest
because
of the class. Yeah.
spiders mature faster. So the timeline is kind of twisted, but it's kind of like in a weird but nice way at the same time, where it's like you can see it, but like also kind of like you're like, that's just weird, right? Just because she matures so much faster. She started in the labyrinth, so that was also a huge thing because she had to like kill things to survive, which she gets skill points from. Um, but you'll just see as we go on more.
She was able to start leveling up since day one. We'll
Yeah,
just go ahead
essentially
and start
compared
from
to
there.
babies where they weren't able to start until they were actually able to walk, and even then they were had minimum things.
Yeah, true.
Episode starts off in the demon realm. Um prepares to attack the elf village. Meanwhile, Shun's party camps out um in the labyrinth, sorry, because they're just trying to get through to the elf world, which we talked about, elf village, sorry, pardon me, in episode 16 of how one of the classmates is like turned evil and is trying to like kill all the elves. um Shun is unable to sleep, and is told by Bosch, whatever it is, one of the guys that's leading them through the labyrinth, about how he once encountered the Nameless, who is now known as the Nightmare of the Labyrinth, finding themselves at a crossroads while being at the Essence. It's being at the Essence. The group opts to follow a short but dangerous route through the Nightmare's former home. Right, so this dude that's guiding them, Bash, whatever, gives them three options, right? One's a short, dangerous one. One's long, that's going to take them like 7 days, whatever, 4 days, whatever it was. And then the third one is through the Nameless's house that we've seen in past episodes. But they're unknowing what is to come. It could be the shortest route. So that's the one they took. This leads them to being attacked by an earth dragon, but they are able to beat it. This earth dragon's like a quick scene, etc. Right? And they're like, "Why is the earth dragon here? Because it just essentially leveled up." So,
Yeah,
however,
they
they
had said that
are
it's a basket. I was trying to find out what the name was, but it's a basket. Anyways, he did actually say that it might be up in the closer to the surface because it might have just leveled up. So that might actually give us a little insight onto how the monsters in the labyrinth react to when they level up or when they first evolve or when they evolve at all. Especially since they're weak when they first evolve. So I don't know. It was kind of, if you think about it, it's a little bit interesting thinking that the higher up you go, the weaker the monsters are. So maybe that's why it was around the entrance or closer to the entrance, because any monsters that it would pop up, they could easily just kill me.
However, though, they are now confronted by a swarm of nightmares, vegetation,
Vestiges.
spider vestiges. Thank you. Spider type monsters, said to be nightmares' offspring. Strangely, though, upon realizing Shun and Co. are reincarnations, right? So after Shun, I'm just gonna go back a quick second. After Shun realizes that, like after he killed the Earth Dragon with help of his team, he gets like these like obviously level up like demon, dragon slayer, whatever it was, and all like different perks in that and different stats. Then he gets kind of like a vision of like how they died quickly, how they got reincarnated, and like just like info of why they're there, right? Um, the creatures let them pass though while they are swarmed. Then the group finally exits the labyrinth by flying through an opening on the back of Faye's dragon form. In the past, Nameless is revealed to be survived through her immortality, right? Because she just she gets blown up by the queen, like the demon queen or whatever it was, and then her head's just floating and bobbing in the ocean. It's just I don't know. It's just yeah, as her body like in episode 16 we left off and her just kind of floating around. So with her immortality, she is just floating and trying to kill things with her magic, which is really weird and OP at the same time. But pardons that she must be treated carefully as there's exiting magic that can kill even immortals, right? Like, so there's one type of magic that actually could kill her fully, right? So she's
The
aware
abyss
of this.
magic, yeah.
Yes. Is that, right?
I'm
That's
only
what it's
putting
called.
in there because
I
she
missed the
mentions
word.
it. Ah, okay, cool. I was gonna
No,
say
that was
I'm
good
just putting
timing.
in there because it's I don't think I didn't think that you remembered. So if you did, I'm sorry, but it in
No,
there.
you're good. I actually forgot I knew what it was, but I forgot the name of it.
Okay. Well, in that case, you're welcome.
Elsewhere area. Thank you. Elsewhere Ariel realizes that Nameless is alive, and when on her portal mines, um she attacked the Nameless's mother. Um Nameless's mother had like the three-dimensional no minds in her. So the Ariel kills the mothers, and then one of the minds transports into her mind. So since they were linked essentially, right? So now she has one of the minds, the teleport or whatever freaking thing, in her head. And it's called the body mind. And then the other two minds, the both magic minds, go back to the nameless spider. So that it's kind of like an info story of like where everyone is, where they're going,
Yeah,
what happened,
it felt a lot
right?
like that, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's still fun to watch though. Do you want to start us off on episode 17
Yeah.
or
Give me.
18? Sorry, pardon me.
I was about to just start in, anyways. Episode 18 is called "You Guys Are Kind of Awful, Huh?" Nameless, the nameless spider, finds herself near Sophia's hometown, which is once again being targeted by the elves. In the present, though, Shun's party travels through that same town. While there, they learn about the animosity or the fights that that exist between the world's two dominant religions. One of them being the Word of God Church and Goddess religion. And Miss Oka reveals Hugo has likely brainwashed the heads of the church, causing Shun to resolve that they must The Nameless kills the elves trying to abduct Sophia, along with anyone suspicious. Which, if you guys remember back in like episode 16 or yeah, about 16 and before that, the Nameless Spider was killing, just killing things left, right, and center with her one of her evil eyes. Which, to be honest, I like that skill of hers. It's nice. Anyways, this draws the attention of his name's weird in English, of Potimus or Potimus, who fears Ariel, and the church might have realized his intentions to gather the reincarnations. So during this entire time, he's Oka's dad. So during this entire time, he was helping Miss Oka out to gather all the reincarnations so that they're all in one place. And also going back to episode 16, I think, or not 16, probably 15. I can't remember right now, but during one of those, we now see that there is a small village of nothing but reincarnations, and that is in the elf village, within the elf village. So, yeah. Um. Anyways, now episode 18. There we go. This draws the church's pontiff Dustin. Oh wait, no. Yeah, this the
You were right.
church's yeah. Sorry, my notes are just all over the place. The church's pontiff Destin also takes notice, but chooses to ignore it as he prepares for war against the goddess religion. The townspeople eventually become aware of the nameless spider as well, and believe that she's a divine beast sent by the goddess. Which, if you guys remember, it's not completely far off from the truth. Um, they just seem to have caught on a little bit faster than, well, even the spider did. So from there, a mother brings a sick kid, or her sick kid, over to the spider and begs her to heal him, which she reluctantly does. She kind of says that it's not her job to heal people, but the more, if she ends up healing them, they might just bring her food, or they might do something for her. So she ends up healing him up. Um,
Essentially, she really fucked up the timeline.
Not really.
Sorry.
She's more of a
Ah, she's
she
more.
more she more started gathering followers or believers or anything, just supporters. I guess is the best thing that you can call them. She started gathering supporters to be on her side. That way, they're not actually killing her. What I think is weird is that she can now understand what they're saying when before.
Slowly. She doesn't fully understand.
True, she under. Oh yeah, no, she understands more than she did. I
But there's
still,
still like
I'm
blank
not.
parts that she can put them together.
Well, the thing is, I'm not entirely sure how she's understanding them or where she's learning it from, since she's nowhere near anybody that's actually speaking, where she can hear, where she can understand. You know, it's more like she's
How do babies pick up language?
they get taught by their parents now.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. She's surrounded by a whole bunch of humans, so eventually you
Well,
just
no,
pick it up.
she's out in the forest near to the village, but she's not near the village.
But
The
she's also
only
had that past experience of the English language.
Yeah, but this isn't any English or Japanese. If you guys are
Okay.
watching the sub,
Anyway.
if this is a, it's not English and
Anyway.
it's not. Well, okay, fine. I'm nitpicking, I guess. Anyway,
We're both
the
nitpicking. That's why
spider,
I'm just saying anyway.
I guess. Anyways, the nameless spider then finds that the word has spread and the entire town has now lined up to be healed by her. So at the end of it, we actually find out that there's a huge ass line of people either waiting to see her or waiting to be healed by her or waiting to like. There's this guy that pops up that all he wants to do is paint her,
Yeah.
and she strikes. It's the weirdest thing because we see what she's doing, but to the other people and the townspeople just looking at it, it looks like one of those spider monsters. So it's, I can only imagine how weird it looks when she like strikes a pose.
Yep. That sounds right.
Um, Thoughts about this episode?
Info.
Info?
It was mainly just like a filler kind of weird info.
Well, yes and no at the same time. Mostly yes, but I don't know.
I don't know, like, yeah. But, like, what I mean though is like there wasn't like a whole bunch of action in this one
True,
compared to past ones, right?
true.
Okay. Episode 19. Shun's party. Oh, sorry. I do want to make it one small note. In episode 18, you actually see more of the relationship between Sophia and the nameless spider develop, and how they later on that relationship kind of actually forms. They do tie that in nicely in episode, I think it was like 24, 23. But that's for later. That's a note for later.
Yeah. It's oh, on episode 18 as well, I think they do kind of show the pontiff, the church's pontiff from where
Yes.
Shin is. And it doesn't seem that he's very that he's been brainwashed. It's more like he
He just doesn't
knows.
know.
No, and so what I think, so anything with that has to deal with oh shit, what do you call it? Anything that has to deal with religion, it kind of, it might just come around from like watching anime with a lot of religious tropes, but you kind of end up seeing patterns in them. In this case, one of the patterns is uh, Slipwells, a lot of other places, that the religious leaders are always planning a coup against
Yeah.
whoever is leading. So remember, if you guys, I don't know if you guys can actually remember, but Hugo had actually thrown a coup, and that's why Shun is on the run now. This pontiff, Dustin, I think it is, it seems that he knows exactly what's going on, and he's kind of rooting for Hugo to see like what else can be done, or what he's going to end up doing now that he's in power, not Shun. I don't know if that makes complete sense or not, but again, you might just pick it up from watching anime with really stupid religious tropes. Um, because
All
they're
right.
really absolute
All right.
stupid.
Other than those notes, I think we're good to start off in episode 19, or is there anything else?
Um, no, go for it.
All right. So episode 19, Shun's party finally arrives to the elf village where they are shockingly met by Prometheus. But, close enough. Sorry. The dude that died in like episode like
Wait, hang on.
15 or
What?
16. It
What?
was like the don't make fun
Wait,
of
hang on.
me.
Oh, yeah, the Oka's dad. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's Oka's dad.
I think we
Um
might as well just call him
they
Oka's dad
thought
from now on.
he was killed by Hugo's coup. When Shun got overthrown, the king got killed, etc. Um Oka's dad is like the elf, like king, essentially, the easiest way to interpret it in this,
The
since there's a
chief, I
lot of
think they
kings
call
in
him.
that, like chief, whatever. But I'm just gonna say king because I'm not gonna throw a different word in there, right?
Leader. We could just call him the
Leader.
leader.
That's a good. After a night's rest. Oh, side note, they never actually explain how Oka's dad, um, is still alive, but you find out on your own in like the further episodes. I think that's like from like episode 21 to
Yeah, it goes
24.
on later on.
24 they really show it.
Well, that's
So
because he was decapitated. Like they completely chopped
yeah,
his
like
head
he was
off.
actually dead, but they don't
Yeah,
show that though. Like they don't show how he's still alive. They're just confused and stunned. So Miss Oka leads Shun, Faye, and Kadia to their chambers, essentially, held at the Elf Village. However, um, wish wishing sharing a happy reunion. Okay. Why would they word it like that? However, there is a happy reunion. Jesus. With the other revival.
reincarnations.
But you see how this is spelled, right? This isn't
Yeah,
just
it's
me.
weird. It
Yeah,
looks
okay.
weird.
Okay. Okay, I'm glad that's you see why I'm like squinting and like looking at my and was like, okay, yeah, sorry guys. So
I may or
let
may not
me
have done Snow's notes for
sure, let's go with that. That's a good save. Okay, so let me just recap. So they go to the elf village, and Shun, Fei, and Katia are rejoined with the other reincarnations. They're all kind of in like a tree that's like hollowed out, talking about how they got there and that. And Shun and Katia are the most interested. But they're also very surprised because they found out that the reincarnations were kind of kidnapped by the elves. They weren't necessarily there by choice, right? Causing Shun and Co
company.
to
Company.
give suspicions, right? Because they're like they don't understand why they would be kidnapped. We learned why later on.
Hmm.
In the past, though, Sophia's, because we're going back in time, Sophia's parents receive a demand for the neighboring country to hand over Nameless, which they cannot possibly do. Oka's dad, the leader, then arrives, but he, arrives to talk to Sophia's parents, sorry, like the other kingdom. But he is um and immediately opts to make a move on Sophia while the nameless is nearby. Sensing her mother is weakened enough, Nameless teleports um to her finally to kill her mother finally. Only end up to falling into a trap and nearly be killed.
That
I
was
hate
actually a
these ones.
really, I know that was
Like,
real a really messed up trap that she set up. It was more smart, but it was really
it
messed
was
up.
actually really smart. Um, so she is it this one that she dies? She doesn't die in this one, does she?
I don't know. So now tell us, does she die in this one?
Um, So, all right,
I'm
okay.
being a dick. I'm
So
sorry.
the mom is weakened, but there's like a huge scene, like I think it's like a couple minute scene where even though she's weakened, she's still super, the mom's still super smart and intelligent, right? So, with that in mind, our nameless spider is still worried about the demon queen, whatever you want to say, going
Um,
through her own thoughts. But it's true.
I don't know if it's a demon king or
Queen,
queen.
whatever,
A demon
demon
lord.
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 There
Yeah.
we go. Um, then her portal minds finally return to her, and she's super excited to see them. They explain how one of them is in the demon lord's brain. So then she's essentially she wins the fight, and Ariel, what's it called? No, okay, so I don't like these notes right now. Sorry, guys. These notes are wacko. So then we go back to the demon lord talking to, I think it was an earth dragon, an ancient earth dragon that's been there for a while, and they're kind of doing like an info kind of thing
Yeah,
where
they
it's
kind of talk to each other. We more or
like
less we find out what's going on or what has been going on for the past 100 years or so.
yeah, about like the carnation, how the ancient dragons should be like a higher status than their recarnations. Kind of like just random info like that, but overall I'm sorry for so many random glips I had. There, these notes I've had are very, very interesting. I wish you guys could see them. Yeah. Um, yeah. Anyway, episode 20. Sorry.
Uh,
No.
yes. So episode 20 is titled "This Isn't My Fault, Is It?" So on this one, we open up with an envoy from a neighboring kingdom that appears before the spider and declares her their property, which is really stupid. She's just a monster. Like, how can? Anyway, that was those were my thoughts when I first saw it. Anyway, but she just finds them annoying and ends up walking away. Then she is confronted by the same administrator that she met in the labyrinth. If you guys can remember, he was wearing a horned helmet. Um, who introduces himself as, oh god damn it, he's got the weirdest name ever. It's Gu- Gulidistodies. I'm not going to spell it for you guys. Just trust me. Uh, who then requests her to stop attacking Ariel and interacting with humans. She says no to that, though, arguing that she must interfere to prevent the apocalypse. Unfortunately, after the guy leaves, the spider is then attacked by the envoy's guards, prompting her to kill them in self defense. But using the envoy's death as a casus belli, or as a just the reason to start shit up, the neighboring country declares war, and Nameless decides to face their army herself upon realizing that what she has done. We then go back to the present. Miss Oka wonders if she has made the right choices. It is then revealed that she has a unique skill called the student roster that tells her the reincarnation's place of birth, health, and how they would die, which prompted her to make a deal with her dad, the elf chieftain, lord, guy, king, to effectively imprison them in the elf village for their own safety. Meanwhile, Ariel's forces have secretly mixed themselves in with Hugo's army and are using them as cover as they march towards the elf village. This one is actually just an expose of what the hell Oka has been doing this entire time. And I think it'd be fair if we called what she's been doing incredibly stupid, and the way that she's been doing it. So if you guys remember back in I think episode 1 or 2, it was one of the earlier episodes for sure. She had told Shun and sorry, she told Shun, Katya, and what's the dragon's name? Faye, not to level up their skills because they were evil. They were going to cause nothing but trouble if they did. She right here. So on this episode, it's actually revealed that the way that these reincarnations were found and rounded up is through kidnapping. Their parents were killed. Their parents were paid off for them. Um, just random attacks on villages so that they can be collected. Just things like that. And because of that, they've got for the most part they have the entire class there now. Missing a couple students, of course, um, like Hugo. But yeah, it's really, really, really stupid the way that she's been going on about this, especially because she had told her dad what was going on. She's not allowed to tell the students how they're going to die. She's not allowed to tell the students um, how she knows who they are or anything like that before they introduce themselves. Um, and there is another. Oh, there's another limit, or I think she calls it that. It's more of a hindrance for her, but she can't see the way that she's going to die. She could see the way that the entire class is going to die, but not her, not herself. Um, Snow, anything that you'd like to add on this one? Thoughts,
Um,
observations?
no, because I truly wasn't quite paying attention to what you were saying. Reason for you're gonna ring me out on this one. I'll bet you money. I accidentally skipped episode 21 without realizing it until I
How
just
did you
recapped
skip
it.
that?
No, honestly, because I was watching it over two different devices, right, from the anime
That makes
website.
sense.
So I
Okay.
guess when I switched from one to the other, I must have like finished off on episode 20 and then started on episode 22. And then so since the timeline is so weird, I genuinely never noticed the difference. I was
Okay,
like,
no worries. In
it,
that case, I will go ahead and do episode 21. You can start us off on episode 22. And if you
yeah,
guys
I can
have
do
noticed,
22 and 23, and then you can finish off on 24 if that's okay. I'm sorry.
we will fight over 24. I'm okay with that.
You
So,
can take 24. I'll do 22 and 23. So then you do two and I'll do two. How's that?
uh, I guess that's fair. Um, if you guys haven't noticed by now, we actually just sped through 17, 18, 19, and 20. Like we said, those episodes are a lot of filler. So pretty happy that we did that. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, whoops, my bad.
No,
See,
no,
the
no,
fact
you're good.
that like this is kind of like what to add on the filler part. It's like I genuinely did not watch episode 21, and the reason why I didn't know I watched it is because every time I like talk, I kind of like speed through the episodes because the timeline changes so drastically and so randomly throughout this anime, where it's like
Well, no, I get that. I mean,
it's just
it
yeah,
jumps
whoops.
around like left, right, and center. It goes from present to future. What the hell? Past, present,
Yeah.
past, present, past, present, past.
As
So
I passed
yeah,
a couple, I was like, that explains how they got there, but didn't really think anything of it.
yep,
Sorry. Continue.
it's all
Episode
good. No
21,
worries.
Go Chester.
So episode 21 starts up. It's called "So I'm Not in This One, Am I?" So I'm not in this one, am I? And as you can tell, our spider friend is not in this one. So episode 21, while preparing for the upcoming battle, Shun's party is then joined by two more of their former classmates, Kunihiko and Asaka. And Miss Oka tells them that the elves' theory as to why they were reincarnated, that being that the RPG system that governs this world is controlled by beings known as administrators who feed off of the energy from the people's skills, and that they are summoned to develop powerful skills. Um, I'll just kind of get ahead on this one and say that they're not far off, but the fact that she says that they feed off of the skill point, it's stupid. It's actually really stupid for me. Anyways, she also then reveals that Hugo is likely being manipulated by them, whilst Sophia, the vampire baby, serves them willingly. As the group wonders what became of the two reincarnations who are still missing, the entrance to the elf village is attacked by one of the said classmates, Sajin, who became a church assassin. Now, this gets actually pretty awesome because I think I complained to Snow. She might not have known why I was complaining since she completely missed this episode. But,
Well, you
anyways,
were also a lot ahead of me too. Like you were
oh yeah, no,
massively. So when you were complaining, I was like already like you were already done episode like you were finished the anime when I was on episode like 14. So it's like
oh
even if I missed it, I didn't know.
no, no, no. Okay, so I'll be completely honest with you. So
uh,
I finished it, yes, but when I
sorry.
complained about it, you're good. It's Jacob, isn't it? Same with my pup.
No.
It's the same with my pup. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So when I was complaining, it's because I was rewatching the episodes all over again. So I might have rewatched the
Mm,
anime another time.
fair enough.
So yeah. The reason why I was complaining, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, is that Sajin, who is now a church assassin, he he became a ninja, right? And what I was complaining about is, and I will say this word for word what I told Snow. I said, wow, we are reincarnated in a place where Japan doesn't exist, China doesn't exist, the US doesn't exist. But you know what? We are still going to adopt, for some reason, ninja and samurai powers and our skills. Not only that, but it's always going to be the Far East countries, the Far East territories that have the ninja and the samurai systems. Nobody else, just them. Everybody to the west can go fuck themselves. The east has the ninja, has the samurai, and has more stuff, which we will get into later. Um, that being said, let's go ahead and move on. If you guys have any comments on that, or if you guys have noticed the same thing, please feel free to comment down below. Always, 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 always up for reading your guys' stuff. Anyways,
Um,
go ahead. What was that?
it's just it like me skimming through it because I know how the anime works.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
It kind of looks like a good episode I missed. Kind of bummed.
it was such a good episode. It was
It kind of looks
such.
like out of all the fillers I watched, because in reality, from episode
This one's not
18,
filler.
17 to 18, it's like I watched all the fillers until it took so long, and that's probably why it took extra long for it to pick up again. It's because I actually missed that one episode. Whoops.
Uh, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not even gonna lie.
So that's probably why I thought it was extra fillers, right? Because I was like, there's
No, no,
a lot of fillers
you,
near the end. And then it's mainly
dude.
because I missed the one episode that really blew up and it made it all worth it. Whoops.
Okay, I don't know if you meant to say the puns of blowing up, but yeah, you missed a really
Whoops.
good episode. It was such a good episode. I would tell you to go rewatch it anyway, but you know what happens after that. I wanted to geek out over that with you, but apparently now we can't.
Whoops. Sorry.
It's cool. It's fine.
All right.
Anyways,
So,
after
episode
Sajin, no,
22.
no, no, no.
Oh.
What are you talking about? Episode
Okay,
22.
hurry up
I know
though.
you have.
It's like I'm
Nah,
waiting my turn.
it's not my fault that you skipped over this. I'm gonna geek out over this, and I'm going to take 50 minutes on it.
No,
So,
you're not.
all right, fine. No, I'm not. Anyways, after Sajin destroys the entrance and flees, locking everybody inside, the barrier surrounding the village is suddenly destroyed. So the elf village had a huge barrier or a force field that was protecting them from attacks, from anybody fighting, being able to come in, anything. It basically it's Wakanda on an elf level. Anyways,
Mhm.
this allows Hugo's forces to attack. Miss Oka then leads the elves' counterattack, and having learned from her skill that Hugo is destined to die here, faces him personally to end him. Now, I did mention this on the last one. She had something called the student roster. On that student roster, she could see when the students are going to die. I did explain that as well. What I didn't say is that everyone on that student roster was supposed to die in the elf forest, including Hugo. Now, while she is able to take out a brainwashed Yuri, Hugo overpowers her with aid from Sophia. Before he can finish her off, she is saved by the arrival of Shun and his party. Not only that, we see more people just coming in from there. This is actually where it ends. So Snow, episode 22.
Okay. My time to shine for the next two episodes, and Chester will end it.
I am going to jump in anyways. Let's go.
I know, but that's what I.
Okay, go ahead.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Episode 22 is
Wait.
beef.
Before we move on to episode 22, any thoughts, opinions, anything
In the
that you found
past, the
interesting?
Nameless joins the battle against the neighboring country, resulting in a massive casualties for the enemies. While okay, I want to go back really quick. In episode 20, you mentioned how Ariel's like I don't know, like pal joined, like showed the nameless spider and talked to him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That's probably the time when I started realizing I fucked up.
Uh-huh. That's good.
All right.
Okay.
So when Ariel suddenly appears, it is revealed that after killing the dragon, Ariel's soul merged with the nameless portal mind thing that has been previously jumped over to hers, causing her to adapt some of the later personality traits of our nameless spider. Right, because like they actually do a pretty good job of showing how
They do
Ariel
such a
like
good job on
personality
that.
is starting to get more like quirky and weird, right? Ariel's
I actually
it's
love
just
the
like
way
they're
that they kind of
like
they
yeah.
changed her.
So, however, she still wants revenge and has what is that? Gila? I don't know what
They
that
just
is.
call him Ghoulie after that.
Okay.
We might as well call him Ghoulie after that. It's
Who came
easier for
back to
everybody.
check on her. so Ghoulie, whatever, the guy that talked to the spider earlier, it's like after she like I'm just gonna point out this quirky moment, sorry. After Ariel defeats the spider, or not the spider, the dragon, pardon me. She's like, I need to eat this spider, like eat this dragon. There's no point of wasting food. She doesn't, she's a human. She doesn't need to eat a raw dragon, right? So then Ghoulie like appears and then he's like, no, no, you don't need to eat it. Your personalities are merging, right? Haven't you noticed you had these weird memories now? So I don't know. It was just like a weird, quirky thing where it's just like she's like, I am more chilled back than normal,
Yeah.
right?
Well, not only that, after he kind of leaves her, she goes, "Well, I've got a thing about wasting food, so I'm just gonna eat him."
Yeah. And then he's just like he's like, no, 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 you're not. Um, so he as he checked on her, she still wants to kill the nameless at this exact second. Not fully kill, but like just kind of like revenge kill.
Yeah, give her a nice maiming.
So Ghoulie teleports her to the Nameless's location, which is on the battlefield. As they fight, Ariel uses several skills that prevents Nameless from using magic or teleporting, forcing her to rely on her healing herself by leveling up using the EXP gathered from the collective damage,
Collateral damage.
collateral damage, just to stay alive. Thank you. Good catch, by the way.
You're welcome.
Eventually, their battle is interrupted by a young Julius, which I didn't like that part.
It was
I
no.
it was
Having Julius
no,
there, it was nice. Honestly, it was nice.
no. It's just like it was just that just really screws with your timeline in your head,
Also,
right?
yeah.
Because they
Well,
also make
no,
Shun
because
and
we
Julius looks. I actually had to rewind it and make sure it was Julius because Shun looks so much like Julius
no, he
at that
doesn't.
age.
His hair color's a little bit darker shade, but
Oh my god, are we really talking about shades?
yes, yes, we
Oh god,
are.
really? Okay.
It's not my fault you didn't realize it, but I mean, I
It was
did.
I don't know, it was like a weird little thing. So Shun's Julius was the hero at that time, right? Because he's still
And if you
alive in
notice,
that realm.
Julius has like that little fur thing on his shoulder.
Anyway, causing Ariel to stop out of fear of the secret effect of the hero, which causes them always to win against the demon lord. Right? So Ariel's like they're kind of like in a three-man standoff right now, right? Because Julius is just standing there, really confused. However, Ariel is able to distract him before using abyss magic that can kill even immortals. Then vaporizing Nameless in the present, despite his allies wanting to help. Shun insists on facing Hugo alone. So kind of like it. Okay, sorry that was a lot. That was a roller coaster. I know that
It
this anime
honestly
is a
is.
roller coaster.
But
So
they do
with
transition
the
from present to past and from past to
past,
present really nicely on this one.
mm,
Almost
I
seamlessly. It kind
really
of,
didn't like Julius showing up. I just wasn't for it. That was not a
well,
nah. I kind of nah.
I thought it was a good touch because, at a very young age, yeah, he already had the hero skill, so he was out leveling his stuff up. So if he's in a war zone, obviously his skill level and his experience points are going to skyrocket, especially if he ends up attacking. Because if he just gets collateral, if you guys play Pokemon, it's like having an experience share,
Mhm.
I would imagine. So if he's in the active battlefield, then yeah, he's gonna get so much experience just from being
Okay.
there. Well, personal, that's my opinion.
I
I
am
don't know.
agreeing. I didn't say anything against it.
Well, I
I
mean, you
also want to
still.
point out
Go ahead.
Hugo is since they did jump back where the spider is technically dead in this scene where she got exploded. They do jump
She
back to
did
the
not get
battlefield with
exploded.
Shun. She did get exploded by the fireball. She did die, but then in episode 23 they explain how she's still alive,
All right, fair enough. I forgot
right?
about that part.
Yeah. So Hugo, they jump back to the current time where Shun and Hugo are in a fight. I did want to point out how Sophia is with Hugo, right? And Sophia is actually super kind of like OP.
Well, it's because
Where like
Sophia didn't get her skills taken away from by Oka, right?
yeah, but it's also like compared to Shun, like she's just OP in general. Even before Hugo's got his skill taken away, Sophia was just stronger naturally. She was born as a vampire human, right? Like she's stronger than just a regular human in general,
True. I'll give you that one.
right? Like she just naturally like they do it show it throughout the like episodes where she is just actually stronger and way more. Yeah. So
True.
episode
True.
23, um, my old friend Y dot dot dot. Okay. So this one actually kinda is more info again, but like I don't know, they're like doing they caused loose ends in the last like 4 episodes, but they also kind of tied them up. They didn't finish all the loose ends they started, right? So
They
which I feel
don't,
like they don't.
but they
Um
start closing them up. They start closing
yes.
them up. They leave
So
loose ends and then they slowly start closing them up as the episodes go along, which is something that I actually really, really like. I
yeah, but they
hate
don't
it.
fix all of them though. They leave some of them, and it's like the ones that you really want to know because they've been around the long. Like Miss Oka's dad, they closed that loose end, but still, it's like,
Did
okay,
they
how do they
though?
have that?
Did
Yeah, that's
they?
what I mean. How do they have that? Okay, anyway, let's just start, and then we'll have this debate
Yes,
while it
please.
comes up because yeah, okay. As the Elf Village battle continues, Oka's dad orders the Gala
Not Gloria.
Gloria, whatever unit to be sent into battle.
Okay,
We'll get
so
back to that.
this one, oh come on, can we just?
No, we need to
Okay,
get back to
fine,
it while it's
fine,
on the battlefield. Hold
fine.
on.
Ugh,
Okay. Meanwhile, Shun easily defeats Hugo, and Sophia refuses to help him because Hugo made a huge thing in episode 22, saying like, Sophia, stay back. I don't need your help this time. You don't need to get involved. Right? So Hugo freaking gets tramped on, and then he's like, Sophia, help me. Right? And she's like, no, you said
he's a
no, I'm
little
not. And
bitch.
yeah, she's just like she's being stubborn as hell. Revealing her affliction with the demons. That they were only using him as a smokescreen, right? Because like Sophia was always more Hugo was kind of like a pawn in the scheme, right? So she's like, I don't freaking need to help you. You can die for all I care
Yeah,
now,
he's a means
right?
to an
You
end.
you did what we needed you to do. End of story, right? So Hugo is furious at being manipulated, but she effortlessly knocks him aside, like literally just like a swipe of the hand. Shun and his party fight her, but they are simply overpowered with ease. Whereas she's just genuinely too strong compared to the
Mm-hmm.
party. Faye attempts to surrender on everybody's behalf, but Shun refuses to give up. Okay, I'm just gonna go back a couple seconds. So Faye knew from the beginning they were not gonna win. Okay, she's a demon. She knows the like how it works. They
She's
knew
not
from
a
the beginning,
demon. She's a
but
dragon,
she
but
knew that nobody would agree with her, so she waited for the perfect opportunity to ask for a surrender.
which is
What's it
smart
called?
of her.
Sophia. Yeah, Sophia actually is like, yeah, we can make this, we can do this surrender, but Shun refuses to give up. Like she's like, and everyone's already beat kind of thing. Everyone's already got a couple hits in them.
He
Pardon
was
me.
trying to do like a rally,
Yeah,
if you
but
know
it's
what a rally
also
is.
yeah. So the reason why he refuses though is because he knows and is believing that Julius would never ever give up, right? Unfortunately, they are then ambushed. Okay, sorry.
Ambushed.
Ambushed. Yeah, unfortunately, they are ambushed by enforcements led by the last minute from the missing classmate. They call him the Eighth Demon Army Commander Worth Wrath
Wrath.
Wrath. Okay, who's Shun's friend in their previous lives. So the three, remember the three friends that we were talking about, Katia, Shun, and
This guy.
missing one, which is the demon lord commander, right? So they're obviously in Wa. what the hell, etc. kind of thing. And also they do a good job of showing up how they grew up with their morals and that actually
Mm-hmm.
affected their decisions now, right? They
Well,
did a good job of tying that. Like they
yeah,
kind of really sent it home on this one.
they really did. That's something that I really liked about that.
Yeah. However, the elves then launch. Okay, hold your breath, Chester. They launched their counterattack using the Gala units.
Gloria.
Gloria, I don't know where I'm getting Gala from.
I don't
Units,
know.
which they are revealed to be mechanically tank drones. Okay, you can have your little spiel now.
Thank you.
Go.
Okay, so the Gloria unit. So the Gloria units, right? The elves built these motherfuckers, and they're basically they're a mix between Zoids that aren't actually animals and they're mechs. They're like Gundams. So
Gundam
they,
style.
huh? What?
Nothing. Continue.
So, anyways, so they don't have any people controlling them on the inside. They're actually being controlled from the base, wherever the hell that is, um, telekinetically. So it's all using their minds, their that, and for some reason it shows that the elves have they're a lot more technically developed than they seem. So they have computers. Obviously, they've got mechs now. They've got telepathy, which is OP as hell by now. I mean, come on. And they've got more things, which actually comes in later. I'm not gonna ruin that. Go ahead. That's all. That's all I wanted to gush about.
Okay. So, as he was gushing, I'm also gonna add on to his gushing. Sorry. These drones, the time that in general, the timeline, they should not have these mechanical weapons.
Well, that's what I said.
Logically,
They're
like
mechanically advanced somehow. They've got
they,
computers.
they shouldn't though.
I know they shouldn't.
Like, okay. Anyway, killing all the
That's why
demons
I also
except.
said there's gonna be more to that. I'm not gonna ruin it right now, but
Oh,
there's gonna be
okay,
more
fair
to it.
enough. They kind of do, and that on a cliffhanger where they don't actually explain how they have that information. Anyway, killing all the demons except for Sophia and Wrath. Um, because I don't know, they have elves plus the machines, and the machines don't go down easily, obviously. Um, Elsewhere, um, our Ariel, sorry, approaches the village with the woman in white, who killed Julius. Um, when later suddenly decides to check on Sophia and Wrath. So they
I think I might be off on this one. Do they say who the spider is by this one, or do they wait?
no,
They still
no,
have
they
okay,
don't.
okay, cool.
She's still
That's
this nameless spider. We don't know who the woman in white is, quote, until episode 24. I want to say, but I can't. So yeah, and then also the reason why Ariel, I kind of missed it on episode 22. I'm sorry, guys. Ariel and our nameless spider is actually kind of acquainted because they did have that reunion somewhere in episode 23 where they're like, "Hey, I kind of don't have an urge to kill you anymore." Right?
mm-hmm.
Wait, did I mess up? Hold on. I want to verify what
No,
I
you
just said.
didn't. There was
No, she doesn't come back, I don't think, until episode 24.
yeah, that's true.
I messed up. That's episode 24. Whoops.
No,
But
no,
they
you're
do
good.
show her. Okay, so I'm going to fix what I just said. Okay, so they do make amends in episode 24, Sophia and our nameless spider. But the reason why I messed up is because I can't even say that. That will be too much of a spoiler. Do you know what? Just start on episode 24. I can't say that.
Start episode 24.
You know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
You know
kind of, sort of.
exactly what I'm gonna say.
True, true. I'm not gonna call you out on it. Okay, give me a sec. To start this one off, I am gonna share my screen with Snow, and then I will actually go ahead
Oh,
and play a small part so that you guys can all watch it as well.
what part?
Because If you guys remember on episode 22, Snow was right. The nameless spider does get killed. This goes on to show more. So I'm gonna go ahead and show this really short piece. Snow. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you as well.
You could just tell me what part it is.
No, that way
Okay,
you
good.
can actually watch it as well because I
Oh, I
explained.
see.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah,
Let me know when you're ready.
good.
All right. So this is how episode 24 starts out with us.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure that'd work, but I'm seriously glad it did. With the egg-laying skill that I took from Mother, I figured since I was basically creating weaker copies, I'd be able to implant one of my parallel minds into one of them. And it looks like I was right.
This is a
Okay.
long
And
couple of minutes.
wait, what was that?
This is a long. Okay, pause it. If not, I'm gonna start interrupting.
I paused it already. I'm sharing my screen. How could you not? Are you
I
not
can
actually
see
watching?
it, but it's also like we need to
Mm-hmm.
explain that.
True. And since I'm sorry, there's no subtitles in this one. I don't think the English dub has subtitles. No, no. So sorry about that. Um, but that does explain how she actually survived being killed and being vaporized in episode 22.
Yes, but there are drawbacks to her. So she found a loophole of like how she can like reincarnate into her one of her eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But she can only have like she does a literal the eggs or whatever, and then she'll take one of the eggs and then reincarnate because they're her eggs, right? Like they all come out, they all hatch, we all see them hatch, and they all show up as her, like the same body and all that. And it was funny because she made a comment, just like a random comment, be like, these spiders, like her little baby spiders were following her, and then she's like, "Oh shoot, I guess they're gonna follow me now." Well, would it be so wrong if I just left, right? And she's like, "Oh, I'll at least that feed them, right?" So she feeds him and then kind of wanders off. But that is how she got revived, is from the abyss magic, is that her having that offspring of spiders.
And if you guys remember the vestiges that we mentioned before, this is where they come from. I'm
Mhm.
not entirely sure if you guys remember, but throughout the entire thing there were vestiges, some what they called vestiges, which are these spiders that they look exactly like the nameless spiders on episode 20 or 17, somewhere around there. Before Shun's party actually left the labyrinth, they came across vestiges who spoke in the human tongue, and they were saying, "Well, yeah, of course we know what a reincarnation is. How could we not know what a reincarnation is?" So
Mhm.
this ends up, like I said, it starts tying up loose ends and filling
Oh,
in, and it starts
oh, I
filling in
can't wait.
some of the information that we up until this point had no idea about. Makes sense? Makes sense?
I figured out how she understands English here and
How?
there.
How?
But that's when she evolves, and I'll tell you why I think that.
Okay, so I actually have that queued up right now as well.
Okay,
So
no, you're literally okay. Pause. You can't do that because you're missing so many parts of the actual anime
this
before
is
you do that.
literally the start of it. This is within the
No, it's
first
not.
minute.
She doesn't revolve right away.
This is within the first 2 minutes now.
Of her evolving?
Yes.
No, she doesn't evolve right away, Chester.
Do you want me to show you the timestamp? Because I will show
What
you the
is the
timestamp.
timestamp?
It says 1 minute 21,
1 minute 21. One
episode
minute.
24. Yeah. And I'm sharing the screen as well with you so you can literally see what I'm looking at.
Fine.
All right.
I thought it was after the youth thing.
No, no, it's during this
Okay,
part right
hurry
here.
up.
Okay, fine. I will now go ahead and cue that. Jesus Christ, honestly. Anyway, now if you guys remember, it's leading up to this point. If you guys can remember, there was a certain evolution,
Ill.
evolution skill that, given enough, if she had met the requirements, she could have the torso of a human. So from the waist up. So what do we see?
Up till now's been less than great. Now it's time for a fresh start via evolution!
The skill that she got actually is the reason why Sam's English is a little bit better, and she's slowly getting into it, because obviously that skill takes time to build up. She just doesn't get it right away, like some of the ones, if she were to kill a demon dragon or anything like that. So that's why I think she has a little bit of that English knowledge, right? It's because she can turn into a human within time. Also, the body that she gets is the one that we saw at the end of episode 23 with Sophia.
Yes.
So
Although,
that one
given the information gotten, she
doesn't
literally,
explain.
yeah, okay, so she literally only had the torso. So from the waist up of a human, everything else below is still the spider. So
Yeah.
Yeah, what we see later on, of course, she must have leveled up on the way there. She did have 15 years to do so. So yeah.
Yeah. So like
And
it's also with that they explain it more near the end of the episode. This episode is a lot of like glimpses of like kind of like tying up loose ends, but also leaving more loose ends available.
yeah. Yeah.
Where you better hurry up. I'm gonna start interrupting a lot.
What do you mean? Oh, you're gonna start.
Mhm.
Anyways, now episode 24. I didn't mention what it was called. None of that. So episode 24 starts up. It is called "So I'm Still a Spider, So What." Now, on this one, Shun does try to stop Sophia and Wrath, but he is overpowered. Anna takes the lethal blow for him. Desperate. Now, if you guys can remember, Anna was the half elf in Shun's party.
Like the maid for
Yeah,
Shun.
yeah, exactly. So she takes a hit for him. Desperate, Shun revives her with a Forbidden Mercy skill. However, this raises his taboo to level 10, which, if you guys can remember, when our spider reached level 10 for taboo, she got a lot of information downloaded into her. Now, Shun's taboo reaches level 10. It causes him to learn the truth of the world. Seeing an opening, Hugo strikes at Sophia, but he is knocked unconscious by the woman in white, whom Shun and his party recognize as their classmate Hiro Wakaba, the nameless spider.
She's the shy one in the class. Like she was the one that never talked to anyone or anything like that.
Yes.
When they did the reincarnations back in the past life, where there was like an episode about that.
Mm-hmm.
She was bullied a lot too.
She was the one that was bullied. If you guys can remember back in episode 1, I think
And
maybe
Faye was one of the
2.
bulliers too.
Yeah. Well, this is the reason that she thinks she's reincarnated as something besides human, because she was a bully to her.
Yeah.
So, Hiro is the one that
the nameless spider.
No, Hiro is the one that Faye in episode 1, I think it is. They flash back to before they reincarnated. She had spilled tea or some soft drink on the book that she was reading, and Hiro is the one that was reading. So, oh, give me a sec. Give me one
You're
sec.
right, but it was not episode 1.
I said 1 or 2. I don't.
No,
It was a
was
while
not
ago.
2. Continue.
Okay, so yeah, Snow was right. It's not episode 1 or 2. I think she said it's episode 3. Snow, you're right.
I think it's like, no, you're good, man. I just don't think it was that soon. We didn't learn about the reincarnations and death until it was like we had more information, and then it got confusing.
Yeah, the ones that they never brought up are by name are her and Sophia.
Yeah.
But I think it was episode 22 or 21. They called. Well, we finally found out that Sophia is the one that they called Spooky. So, moving on from there, we found out that the spider was Hiro Wakaba, which when she evolved, she looked exactly like she did before the reincarnation. No idea
Same with
how.
Phase.
Yeah, Faye looked similar to what she looked like. I think when our spider evolved, she said she looked exactly like she did beforehand, before everything happened. But yeah, you're right. Um, in the past, so they do move to the past. Hito survived Ariel's attack by transferring the unconsciousness into an egg she had laid beforehand and hatches as a newborn, which is actually something that I showed you guys just now, or not too long ago. She then uses experience points that she obtained from the battlefield to evolve into an arachne. Meanwhile, Oka's dad attacks Sophia's home, kills her parents, and fatally injures the family butler, Metazophis, or
Wait,
Metazophis.
can I pause you for 1 second?
Please do.
I just want to touch back because, like, in reality, it's kind of hard for us to like talk about episode 24, especially since like we know what's happening in the whole episode. So we're kind of jumbling parts all together to what actually makes sense. So in reality, the white girl that we saw at the end of episode 23 and what we saw at the beginning of episode 24 when she showed up in the battlefield to help Sophia and Wrath, we don't actually we have an idea, but at the exact time at the beginning of that episode, we actually didn't know how she got to where she was,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Sophia's like, you didn't have to show up, master, or whatever, right? So like they had that very deep bond, if that makes sense.
True.
And then
But that also
as
makes you, well, yeah, go
well,
ahead. I'm sorry. I
no, you're good.
cut you off
I
there.
was just gonna say, as Chester's gonna continue now, since Sophia's parents were just killed by Oka's dad, we will see how that bond develops near the end of episode 24, where Chester was just gonna continue off. I just wanted to make that note.
No, it's good. Good note. Now, on this one, he we did say that Oka's dad fatally injures the butler. His name
Hmm.
was Merzofis. Uh, he was carrying Sophia at the time. And remember, Sophia is sentient even though she is a baby. She's got vampire teeth even though she is a baby. She's a newborn. Um, so what she does to save him is she ends up biting him. Now, once she bites him, it it forced her to turn the butler into a vampire, which he wasn't before, and that actually surprised me because I thought he had been a vampire beforehand. I'm not exactly
Well,
sure how that whole thing worked out because I don't think her parents were vampires.
no, yeah, they didn't really explain that one. But also, like in episode, I think it was 22, we did see the butler as a vampire. That's why we were kind of like, wait, how did that happen? Right?
Right.
Because in episode 22, at the beginning of like where Hugo, Sophia, and the butler were all kind of fighting. The butler
Yeah.
took two of the reincarnations and then was defeated. And then Sophia's like, you did your best. Go ahead. You can go worry about other stuff. Right. And then he kind of just disappeared. And then in episode 24, they actually show how Sophia turned him into a vampire. But it's also the reason why she did it is because A, he was going to die anyway. B,
Yeah.
she had no other choice, and she also had the intelligence already as like a normal grown human, right?
True.
So sorry to interrupt.
No, no, you're good. To be honest, it still confuses me that um, I still don't know whether Sophia's mom and dad were vampires themselves or not because that was
I
never
want to say it was the
explained.
mum. The dad was clearly not a vampire. I think it
Okay.
was the mum. Because remember there was like a note or whatever in here saying the mum was very weak and ill. Like somewhere in like within
True.
the last
It.
like 8 episodes we talked about, like there was like a random note. Which I
Yeah,
actually
but
didn't know in the anime that she was weak and ill.
me either. I mean, she looked like she was just at the home, but I mean, she's a lady. Not
Yeah.
just because she's a lady, she's a girl, but like if her dad was a lord, she was a lady type of thing.
Like the only it would make sense that the mom's a vampire, not the dad. The dad is clearly not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. I don't know. He probably just got lucky and married into a family of vampires somehow. I don't know. They don't explain.
or the other way around.
Or the other way around. Yeah. But this is how the butler. I'm not gonna mention his name again. His long
Yeah,
ass name. What is up with these
Butler's
names?
good.
Right. But that's how this guy ended up being a vampire as well. Now, fortunately, though, Hiro arrives and engages Oka's dad, but gets pushed into a corner until Ariel appears and beats him. There's a lot that goes on in this fight, and I wish we could go step by step, blow by blow, but it is so good. So Oka's dad ends up putting up a force field where it completely dampens or it cancels out any magic.
Ugh.
But Hito, and it's gonna be weird calling her this now, but Hito the spider, Spider Girl, uh, she still has her advanced thinking, her fast thinking, her parallel minds. And honestly, please go watch it. It's such a good anime. It's such a good episode. Anyways, she comes in and she completely destroys Oka's dad, who ends up, we now figure out how he survived being beheaded by Hugo.
Mhm.
He gets part of his face completely slashed. The skin comes off, and it's a freaking Terminator under there. So
Yep.
he's yeah, it's an android. Basically, he's an android under there, and this is how he goes from um body to body. In essence, I guess he's got an immortality skill as well, but he had to improvise since he can't do egg laying. He had to improvise on how to use the skill, and he uses androids to do that, to keep himself alive from battle
He
to
has a
battle, from
whole
death to death.
warehouse of them.
Yeah, he honestly does. And I'm telling you, this is why earlier I said they are more technologically advanced than they should have been because of this specifically. So,
Also, there nobody knows about it clearly because the way that Miss Oka was so shocked to see him when he showed up to meet them from leaving the labyrinth.
right.
Like
I guess that's a
he, it's a
smart thing
very
to do.
secret thing.
Yeah, I guess that's a smartest thing to do because if people know that you have this warehouse of robots and you have an immortality skill, they won't underestimate you. They would take you at face value. They would know that you can't stand, and they'd just be ready for whenever you pop up. So the less people that know about the skill, the less people that know that he's got an immortality skill and a warehouse full of androids, I guess the better. Which looks like it might actually be the exact same thing for our spider, Hito.
Hmm.
But again, that's just
Um,
me. It's just definitely just something that makes sense to me. Um, Now, Shia comes in. She beats him, revealing he was only a mechanical copy. Ariel, the demon lord, then calls for a truce, to which Hito agrees, and she, Sophia, and the butler all agree to follow her back to the demon territory. Back in the present, Hito's party moves on to defeat Oka's dad. So,
so
our spider and their party move in to completely kill Oka's dad.
and I just want to touch up on the reason why Ariel, the demon lord, wanted kind of thing with Hero is because they she actually lost all kind of the urge to kill Hero he Turo. I don't freaking
Hito.
this nameless spider. Okay, she kind of lost because since the body spider, the mind spider, is eating away at her minds, their minds are kind of merging where it's like they don't she doesn't have an urge to kill her anymore, right? And in reality, the nameless spider was only defending herself. So she's like, that's fair. And then also the reason why Sophia and the butler go with them too is because since the butler is a vampire now, and Sophia's still a baby, right? Like they don't really have anywhere else safely to live and grow, right? So they follow, etc. And then they leave it on a cliffhanger, of course, with
Of
the party
course, it
of
just wouldn't
wanting to
be.
defeat Miss Oka's dad. So,
Yeah. Oh,
but
something that we didn't actually mention. Because Sophia turned the butler into a vampire, the vampire now can hear Sophia or
yes,
telepathy. So it's they explained it as a kin control, which it's it, it uh, to be honest, it shouldn't really fall under kin control, but
it
fine,
does.
it's cool. But yeah,
That's fair.
that's where it ends. It leaves us in a huge cliffhanger, and yeah, it just goes from there. They're all just kind of huddled around a mountainside, and they start walking off, and
Yeah.
that's where it ends. It ends
So,
with Hito saying, "So I'm still Spider. So what?"
hmm.
Thoughts
So
about
just
the anime in general?
I don't know. It was good. I don't think Sophia. Actually, yeah, she would be a reincarnation. So like they say, I just want to add on these notes. So we don't understand how the elves are that much more mechanically intelligent. That was never explained.
It never
Um,
was. No.
we also kind of missed why the students hate Miss Oka. I know you explained it. Sorry,
Well, yeah, we
you
explained it.
explained
It
it
was
right.
episode 21.
But like
Remember?
that, unless she told them, like her dad, I don't know. Um, yeah, but there was that. The Shen is not the print like the king. That's kind of left on a cliffhanger of like, okay, what's his role now?
Yeah.
Hugo is kind of left on a cliffhanger. Um, they put Miss Oka with the group in the
Mm-hmm.
background. She was with that like in the final stratum, like the final not stratum, the final like episode.
Episode.
She was on the mountain with Faye, Sophia, like all of like a certain group of people. So Miss Oka actually has a past relationship with Sophia, the spider, and the demon lord, but it's not explained, right? So, I don't know. And then just like it's a good anime, but their timelines are just so freaking whack. Like I feel like if they actually just did the spider first and then everything else after, it would have been so much better. Right?
No,
Like no, because
in
like
a okay. So my
yes and
opinion,
no.
yeah, so my thoughts on this one is if they had done it completely linearly, it might have ruined something. So we would have
Something
known,
as in what?
well, we would have known right away that yeah, the spider is way more advanced than the rest
Okay,
of the
but what if
group.
they did the humans first and then the spider?
Well, then we'd
That
be
would have been
messed up. No,
cool.
we would be completely
No,
messed up on the timeline still. At least with
not
this one,
as badly.
well, dude, listen. At least the way they did it, it kind of presents like, yeah, it's confusing as hell. I'm not even gonna lie, it's confusing, but it keeps you thinking. Well, which one is the present timeline? Which one are they both in the present timeline? Is it all in the past? Is it both? Are there some pieces that are in the future? Like what exactly is going on here? It keeps you thinking, it keeps you interested, it keeps you kind of wanting to know what
Mm,
is going on.
I don't know.
And
I think it's like the fact that they went from like present, past in one episode, right?
true, like I said, I'll give you that.
But
It does get weird, it does get annoying
like
sometimes, but it was
it's
really
just
well done.
it was well done, but it's also they have too many dead ends just to leave it on episode 1 where it's like they needed to at least finish some of the dead ends they left because it's kind of just annoying now. It's not
Well,
even like, "Oh, let's wait for it's kind of like, "Okay, you didn't really explain everything and why it's like that." So,
true. Okay, so I'll give you that much up until that point. But if you had known everything, then episode 24 would fall completely flat. But episode 1 started at the very start. Sure, awesome. Every single episode up until then, with the exception of one or two, everything starts to get to kind of meet into the present. So we start in the past and we get a glimpse of the present, And then from then on, everything just kind of slowly starts to come up to the exact same timeline, which is the battle. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
while that entire thing happens, one, we figured out, okay, the spider is 15 years old as well. We don't exactly get to see who the spider is. We know who the rest of the students are for the most part. Now, we go up to there, we get a little bit more exposition. I'll even give you the fact that yeah, we never find out why the hell the elves are so technologically advanced. That was never explained. But them ending it here on okay, the past timeline and the present timeline are finally meeting together. We're closing the gap on who is who. I'm still thinking that the two oh no, wait. The two people from the roster I think are the spider and Sophia that didn't end up dying. So I don't know. We might still end up getting some more on that, but episode 2 is gonna have to really jump up on that one.
Like I don't know. The fact that they made more dead ends and then kind of filled them up at the last minute, like episode like I don't know. I it wasn't a bad anime, but it's also kind of like one of those animes where it's like you need to be honestly if there was season 1 and season 2 at the same time, it would have been much better because there would be less dead ends essentially, right? But overall, it wasn't too bad, but still like just the
Well,
time.
well, in
Okay,
order
we're
to
just
okay, so
mm,
look, in order to have season 1 and season
you
2
have your opinion.
together, we would have needed to watch this anime when season 2 had ended, which again, I
I
hope it's
know,
this
but
year.
you have your opinion, I have my opinion.
Fine. Fine.
You like
We're
the
gonna
anime more than I do. I didn't say that anime. I just said the timeline is just too chaotic.
it
Like it's just
is
like for me, it's like we're jumping present, past, future, and then like, oh wait, this refers back to 2 episodes ago. And then oh, this jumps back from 3 episodes ago, right? Oh, that makes sense about 6 episodes ago. Like right? Like
but
I don't
it
know.
doesn't yeah, it leaves some endings completely open still. It but it
Yeah.
does explain a good couple of things.
But
But I do agree with you, it gets confusing.
we are gonna end this so when I'm a spider on that. Just to really like the anime. I still liked
I
it, but I
I
did
did. I really liked the anime. It was really nice.
I just like I don't know, the timeline is what really fucks with you. Honestly, if you watch it, you'll understand why this podcast was kind of so all over the place. It's because the anime itself is even more all over the place. If
True.
you don't believe us, watch episode 24 and you will see.
Watch the entire
Episode
anime, but yeah,
mainly 24,
obviously,
that
you
really fucks
just
with things.
watch the entire thing through. It's gonna be real. If you're
Um,
listening to the podcast before you're watching the anime, then you obviously already know where it leaves off. But yeah, watch
yeah.
the anime. Let us know what you
And
think.
then we are gonna start watching Blue Lock. I don't know. I found a completely different anime from what we've been watching because it's been a lot of action and mystery, right? So and kind of like fighting. So I was like, let's just try something completely different. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, I've got no idea what Blue Lock is
It's like
about.
a soccer game or something, like a
Oh,
soccer
okay,
anime. Yeah.
okay.
So I
So
was like,
we're
it's
we're
completely different theme from what we've been doing. I figured I'd try something completely different.
okay. All right,
Cause
cool.
so we did So What I'm Assassin, which is completely it's the title says it. And then we did what was it, Spriggan?
Spring, yeah.
Yeah, Spriggan was completely action superhero based. And then we did this one, which is kind of like essentially the same thing where there's like war near the end of the anime, right? Where it's a little bit different than the other two, but it's still like action related. Where there's war, you get to see all the level ups, etc. Right? The power ups,
The good
killing, and all
stuff.
that.
The really good
So it's
stuff.
just like and the battle scene. So I was like, okay, let's try something completely different. So we're gonna try Blue Lock, and then we'll get back to you. So
If you guys haven't noticed, then Snow came up with this anime.
mhm.
So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes really, it's a really nice one. Apparently it's still an ongoing anime. It hasn't ended yet.
Oh, I didn't even check it. I just saw a thing on Instagram and I was like, let's try that one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Literally
Yeah.
my thought process.
Yeah. So from what it looks like, we'll get to what it's about. I will get to researching on it. And
Actually,
yeah,
we may not
we
even be able to watch it.
what wait, what?
I don't think it's on the website. I think it's on a different one.
It is on the website. I'm looking at it right
Is
now.
it? Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's capital. I spelled it lowercase. That's why it
Ah,
didn't work. That's only
nice.
16. Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, see so far.
Yeah, but like, okay. Anyway,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks like it's an ongoing anime. The next episode comes out in Saturday.
2 days from now.
No, it's 2 days. It's Saturday.
Actually, Saturday? Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
February 4th. If you guys are listening now, we are actually on January 30th, so that's why. But yeah,
Okay, well,
it's an
that should
ongoing
work out.
anime. Yeah, it's an ongoing anime. I think it's new episodes every week, so every Saturday might be the
I'm
sweet
gonna
spot
look up
around there.
how many episodes, because if not, then I'll just pick something else, and then until it's like all out, and then the podcast is not weird.
Fair enough. All right, but for now, Blue Lock. If anything, we'll start watching and we'll talk up until whatever episode is out at the time, and then I guess I'll just kind of rearrange the episodes on the playlist to kind of coincide with everything, so that there's no spaces, awkward spaces in there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, for listening, for joining us through this 24 episode anime. I loved it. The ending was a little bit like Snow said, but it was actually really nice. Um, that was So I'm a Spider, So What. Thank you guys again. It was a weird upload, weird recording schedules. We know. Um, hopefully next week we will come back with Blue Lock. We're not exactly sure how many episodes we're gonna do per podcast, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, join the Discord. Not the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, I guess the link is on Snow's Twitch channel, which is Snow5030. My Twitch is going to be twitch.tv/Chester, the same way that it's spelled here,
Per episode.
CH3STRR. And you guys have a great day, great night, good afternoon, whatever it is. Bye bye.